As we near the end of the year, it's the perfect time to look ahead and plan your company's growth strategy for 2020. The annual planning session sets the strategic direction and priorities for the year and beyond. And the one-page strategic plan is the instrument that we use to produce this alignment and ultimately get the right people doing the right things in your business. A well-run planning session is normally split over 2 days and helps teams align better around the strategic priorities for the next year. Welcome to Summit Scale, where entrepreneurial business owners come to learn how to grow their small businesses into mid-sized companies. Here's a 9-part agenda for a solid and highly productive annual planning session. Item 1, the check-in. Allow 30 minutes for this. Each member of your team shares the organization's 3 greatest accomplishments in the previous year, and then each member then shares his or her own greatest personal accomplishment for the year and their expectations for the annual planning session. Item 2, the previous year review. This is where your team review the previous year's goals and numbers, the previous year's revenue, profit, gross margin, and other relevant key numbers, and the last quarter's priorities or ROCs. You want only black or white, achieved or not achieved answers. Ideally achieving 80% or better of your goals to be at the right level in your goal setting. And this is one reason your goals must be very specific. Item 3, condition. And allow up to 2 hours for this. Each member of the team receives feedback from the others on their single greatest strength or most admirable ability and their biggest weakness or hindrance to the success of the company. And the exercise is done out in the open with the entire leadership team present. After everyone has received the feedback from their team members, each then must choose one thing that they will commit to doing differently in the coming year based on the feedback they've received. And this is a very short, simple, very powerful team building exercise that builds openness and honesty on the team. Item 4, the SWOT and issues list. This section provides an opportunity for everyone to update and share what they believe the organization's strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats are. And this is the classic SWOT analysis, a management tool for helping an organization take a good look at itself and clarify its current state, both good and bad. And the most productive outcome of the SWOT analysis is the issues list. And this list, along with all additional issues that get raised throughout the planning session, should be added to your issues list for next day's issue solving. Item 5, the one-page strategic plan review. At this point in the session, you challenge the company vision. Working your way through the one-page strategic plan, take a hard look at your core values and purpose and make sure everyone is still on board with the BHAG, that big, hairy, audacious goal. When you're not on the same page, you have to discuss and debate it until everyone is in sync. And assuming you are all in agreement, you throw out the old 3-year goals and create brand new ones. You want to make sure that everyone agrees on the same image 3 years from now. And once the new 3-year picture is clear, go on to work on the next year's plan. Set the revenue, profit, and numbers for the coming year, and then set your 3 to 5 most important goals. Remember, less is more, so be careful. Don't overthink this. When the vision is clear, the numbers and goals are right in front of you. You just have to put them down on paper and agree with them. Item 6, establish next quarter's priorities, your ROCs, and allow up to 2 hours for this. With clarity of the one-page strategic plan and the issues list clear, your team then determines what the priorities, those ROCs, are for the coming quarter and who is accountable for each. And this will create a laser focus for your organization for the next 90 days. Item 7, tackle the key issues, and allow between 2 and 3 hours for this. This agenda item is where you tackle all the remaining issues from the issues list. You will really be able to tackle them all, but it's important that you tackle the key issues. Item 8, next steps. Just 10 minutes for this. This is where you come into the home straight and recap all the action items on the management action plan. This will make sure everyone is fully accountable for their commitments. And then item 9, the conclusion. This is where the team takes a deep breath and puts a tidy bow on the session. Each team member shares 3 things: their overall feedback on the day, whether their expectations were met or not, and a rating out of 10 of the session. At the conclusion of your annual planning session, your team should feel 100% on the same page with each other, that the priorities for the coming quarter are clear and that all the key issues have been resolved. Don't wait until 2020 to start planning. If you wait to start your planning for 2020 until the new year, then you're already behind. Be sure to take this quality time as a team to evaluate your strategic plan. Forward-thinking business leaders are doing more strategic planning. They commit to jumping into this process for the long haul, because that's how you will see growth to a point of breakthrough. If you'd like some help in facilitating your strategic planning session, then give me a call. I'm Shane Spears of Summit Scale. See you next time.